Hello everyone, back tuning into the first winter 2014-2015 update for the United States. I'm going to attempt to do a bit of weather forecasting for the United States for this winter on the UK-based forecasters. So the United States weather isn't my sort of area of expertise, but there's two or three things that I think are quite important for the United States weather in terms of winter time. And I'm seeing some pretty interesting developments currently going on in terms of these things. So I'm going to have a look at them, and then I'm going to do a bit of a forecast at the end of the video. And we'll update it in October, and we'll do a final one in November. Now, before I go, I've actually want to say about the ads. There's green keyword ads on many of my pages that goes over. So if you roll the cursor over the green keyword, they'll display ads. If you click through the word, you'll go to the advertiser's website, and you'll be supporting this website. Thanks very much for doing that. So I want to start off with the sea surface temperature anomalies for the globe. What I'm specifically interested in is the Pacific and this area of the Pacific Ocean up here around the northwestern part of the United States and Canada, and going up into Alaska. We've got a lot of very warm water up here, and this was around last winter in this area. We had a lot of warm water up there last winter in this area. When you get warm water up here, it translates, or it can help to translate, to a ridge of high pressure. You tend to get a blocking feature developing up here. Correspondingly, you'll tend to get a trough of low pressure over on the eastern side of the United States, and the jet stream will dig southwards through the United States. I can show you how that happens on this chart. So this is another way of looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies. You get this ridge up here around the northwestern part of the United States. Correspondingly, the jet stream will go something like that and dive southwards through the states. You'll get a trough up here in the northern and eastern part of the United States, and of course that cold, that trough contains a lot of cold air being pulled southwards from Canada. So I think that's a pretty good signal, that warm water up there. Pretty good signal to get a trough. Correspondingly, you should get a ridge rather up there. Correspondingly, you should get a trough in the east and the northeastern part of the states. Now, it looks like we're also going to have a weak El Nino this winter. El Nino is warm water stretched out from the coast of Peru and going over to Indonesia, just here through the equatorial part of the Pacific. It's not going to be a straightforward El Nino, but it's only going to be a weak one. It looks like it's going to be a Modoki or a Mediki El Nino, which is a central-based El Nino. That can be another cold signal for the United States. This is the El Nino prediction from the CFS version 2 model from the United States. This is for the 3.4 region, which is the central part of the Pacific, this area just here, and it's showing that we are reaching the El Nino threshold, albeit weakly, through the course of this winter. You see the lines here on the ensemble going up to around 1 degree above average. It's not going to be a strong El Nino by any means, but we are reaching that El Nino threshold. Have a look at region 1.2. We see that it's cooler, and what that is telling us with region 1.2 being cooler than region 3.4 is that we've got a central-based, weak central-based El Nino being forecast. So the CFS V2 model, in line with many models, is seeing this central part of the equatorial Pacific just there to be warmer than this part of the equatorial Pacific just here. This area should be cooler and this area should be warmer. When you get that, you've got a central base El Nino, so-called Modoki or Mediki El Nino, and that is another, or can be another, cold signal from the United States. Finally, snow cover over Siberia. We've got a very rapid build-up of snow cover beginning to take place across eastern parts of Siberia in this area just here. We filled this area in with snow very, very quickly last autumn, around this time, late September, early October. When you fill this area up with snow very quickly, it can correspond in developing the Siberian high very quickly, and if you don't start to push it this way into Europe, if you don't start to push that snow cover that way into Europe very quickly, and we didn't last year, then the Siberian high will tend to start to push this way. It'll go over the pole and down into Canada, something like that. And that could well be what we're looking at this winter or early part of the autumn. We're going to have to wait and see how quickly we fill the rest of the Siberian plain up down towards Europe, but certainly this eastern part of Siberia is very rapidly seeing the snow cover build up, and I would suspect we're going to have a strong Siberian high that may push that way across the pole into Canada if we don't start to build up that snow cover in the western part of Russia. So that's a bit of a wild card. We're going to wait and see how that develops through October, but right now the signal is very similar to what we had last year around this time in terms of building up the snow cover in eastern Siberia. If you have a look at a couple of models, this is the JMA from Japan. This is the 500 mm high anomaly prediction for December. I can't go any further out with the JMA just yet, but this is what we're looking at for December, and it's basically what I was talking about in terms of that ridge being up here in the northwestern part of the United States with those red and orange colours. There's the trough over in the east of the states. The jet stream is going around that ridge up there and then diving southwards, something like that. So it's a classic sort of scenario with the blocking high area of high pressure up around Alaska and northwestern parts of Canada, and correspondingly the cold trough in the northern and eastern part of the United States. If we have a look at where the wind direction is forecast to be coming from in December, we can see it's basically northerly across many parts of the state. Not sure if you can quite see that, but the arrows here are northerly, northeasterly, bringing cold air from Canada down into the States. And there's the temperature forecast for December, a cold month being predicted here for just about the whole of the United States. That could be a bit over the top up in the northwest. It's likely to be warmer, but certainly for northern, eastern, northeastern parts of the States, that is likely to be what we see in December. As I say, I can't go any further out than this for January and for February yet, but I'll be able to next month go to January, and in November I'll be able to go as far out as February. This is another model. This is the JAMSTEC IOD model, piece of precipitation, the temperature forecast, I should say, United States, and a cold month here being signalled. Perhaps not too bad on the actual eastern seaboard, not too bad around the Pacific coast of America, but for most of the states, a very cold winter is being signalled, particularly cold for the northern and northern part of the states, central northern parts of the United States. Brutally cold conditions are possible up there on this particular forecast. Now, there are other models that aren't going for such a cold winter. This is the Beijing Climate Center. This is the 500 mm high anomaly prediction of the United States for the winter, and it's different. We haven't got that ridge up in the northwest of the states. Instead, it's putting a trough up there of low pressure, and that means that we've got a ridge down here in the northern and eastern part of the United States. So it's I think it's wrong. I don't think that's right. On the sort of temperature anomaly around here, I think we'll get a ridge. But if it starts to cool down, it could start to cool down. It's quite an unusual place to get warm water up here. If the anomalies do start to cool, then of course this comes into play. That may be what the model is seeing. But it's seeing a different pattern to the JAMSTEC and to the JMA, and consequently the temperature forecast is much, much warmer there in the United States from the Beijing Climate Center. It's indicating quite a mild winter there. Coldest actually around Alaska, where I would suspect it would be warmer in terms of the anomaly up there, but it's seeing a mild winter for most of the United States. So with that caveat in mind, it's not a done deal by any means. It's only September. I'll be doing more updates through October and November, but I think that is I don't think that's right. I think we'll have a winter that's very similar to last winter. I think it's going to be another cold winter for the states. Northern parts of the states could be brutally cold, severely cold, as we saw last winter. Those central northern states, you could really be in for it again, I think, this winter. So I'll do more updates through October and November, but that's the way I'm sort of seeing things going for the winter in the states at the moment. Of a very cold winter likely, above average snowfall. I think eastern parts of the states could come into the snowfall more this winter than was the case last winter, because of that central-based El Nino, which I think does shift the focus for snow and cold further east and southeast as well. So it could encompass even larger parts of the country than was the case last winter, I think. So keep checking back to GavsWeatherVids.com. I'll try to do more updates, so I will do more updates in October and November. But at this early stage in September, I'm predicting a very cold winter for much of the states away from the northwest. I think it's going to be another brutally cold winter with above average snow in some parts of the country. That's it for now. Thanks for watching the video. Bye for now.